All right, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Dan McCulka, and I'm a member of the HSE team here at Dexter. And today we're going to be covering hot work safety training. So let's get started and staying safe and informed. All right, team. So the lesson objectives for this training include what is hot work, hazards associated with hot work, the hot work permit system, roles, and also roles and responsibilities within the permit process. So today we're talking about hot work. Basically, hot work is anything that makes sparks, flames roar, or metal glow like it's auditioning for a superhero movie. Why do we care about this? Because hot work can turn a normal day into fireworks. And most importantly, it can turn something that you thought was good into something bad. So, and trust me, OSHA doesn't hand out trophies for that. So when it comes to OSHA, a hot work program, it must be in place to satisfy OSHA 1910.252 and also the NFPA, which has to do with fire safety, those standards. So by the end of this session, you'll know how to keep the heat where it belongs on the workpiece, not the building. So let's dive in. All right, hot work hazards. Oh, where do we start? Fire is the obvious one, so it's like inviting a dragon to your workplace, except this one doesn't listen to your commands. Then there's explosions. If flammable vapors are hanging around, sparks can turn your day into a Michael Bay movie. Burns. Yep, touching hot metal is basically the fast track to learning why gloves exist. Followed by toxic fumes, because who doesn't love a side of lung irritation while they're welding? And don't forget eye injuries. Sparks are not confetti, folks. They're tiny, angry pieces of metal that can cause a lot of damage. All right. So every facility needs a hot work program manager. So they inspect the work site before signing off on permits. Basically, they're the last line of defense between safety job and oops. So they train fire watchers and authorized employees every year because safety knowledge isn't like riding a bike. You can often forget it. So they keep permits on file for at least 3 months. Why? Because when something goes wrong, everybody suddenly loves paperwork. And if the manager's off duty, the facility manager can step in. No excuses. Someone's got to keep the fire inside the torch, not the building. So pro tip, schedule hot work outside of production if possible. Sparks and assembly lines are not best friends. All right, hot work station criteria. So rule 1, non-combustible barriers with 1 hour rating over floors, walls, and ceilings. Basically, wrap it up like it's going into a fireproof gift box. Keep the station clear of combustibles. If it burns, it doesn't belong here. Separate it from other combustible areas with solid barriers or at least 35 feet of open space. Sparks need enough space to operate, or in this case, fall. Fire extinguishers, yes, plenty of them. Think of them as the station's bodyguards. The bottom line here is before you start, make sure the area is spark proof and flame proof. All right, hot work permit system. So permits aren't just paperwork. They're your golden ticket to do hot work without turning the place into a bonfire. A hot work permit is a written authorization that ensures hot work is performed safely. It confirms the work area meets all safety requirements before sparks fly, and it acts as a checklist and accountability tool, all in one. The permit forces us to slow down and think before we light up. It's signed by the right people, checked by the right people, and makes sure the job site isn't secretly storing a gallon of gasoline under the table or other such things that could cause harm. Now on to roles and responsibilities. Let's start with the permit issuer, otherwise known as the gatekeeper. They check the area, confirm it's safe, and make sure the permit isn't just a piece of paper collecting dust. Now the permit holder. This person is doing the hot work. Their job, follow the rules and keep the permit visible. And then Firewatch, also known as the MVP of safety. So they stare at sparks like it's their favorite TV show during the job and for at least an hour after. Firewatch also needs an extinguisher handy. They need to know how to use it, and they need to know how to sound the alarm. Basically, they're the safety hero without the cape. After the job, there's a monitoring period because sparks love to play hide and seek. Check every 15 minutes for up to 3 hours post-work. Yes, it's tedious, but so is explaining a fire to the boss. A hot work permit isn't a lifetime membership. It's good for one shift or until the job is done. No rolling it over like vacation days. If the work continues into another shift, guess what? You need a new permit. Safety does not do carryover. Why? Because conditions change. What was safe at 8 a.m. might be a fire hazard at 4 p.m. So if you're thinking, I'll just keep the old permit, don't. The exception to this is that you can renew the job permit. Bottom line with this one is new shift, new permit. It's paperwork, but it beats paperwork after an incident. Next, we'll look at pre-work safety measures. So before you strike that first spark, let's talk prep. So step 1, clear the area. If it burns, be sure to move it. If you can't move it, cover it. If you can't cover it, check for flammable vapors. If your nose says gas station, your brain should say stop. Ventilation matters. We want fresh air, not a toxic cloud. Lastly, you need to inspect your equipment to ensure it is safe for use. This includes welding machines, torches, hoses, etc. A few minutes of prep beats hours of explaining what went wrong. All right, so you've prepped the area, you got your permit, now it's showtime. But remember, this isn't a set it and forget it situation. Stay focused. Hot work is not the time to multitask or check your fantasy football scores. Keep your PPE on, yes, even if it's hot and uncomfortable. Watch for changes. If you smell something weird, see smoke where it shouldn't be, or hear a hiss that sounds like trouble, stop and check. Keep a fire extinguisher, keep it close. If you have to run to get it, you're already losing. You don't leave the job unattended. Sparks have a nasty habit creating problems after you walk away. Post-work procedures. So your hot work's done. Great. But if you're the fire watch or the designee, don't just pack up and vanish yet. First, check the area. Look for stray sparks, smoldering materials, or anything that's thinking about catching fire later. Monitor the work site for at least 1 hour, followed by a 3-hour fire monitoring period, which means a check every 15 minutes is required to ensure visibility is present. Yes, it's boring. No, you can't just feel it if it's safe. Remove any fire blankets or shields after you're sure nothing's still cooking underneath. Document the work, complete the hot work permit, and ensure the fire watch or designee returns the completed permit to the program manager. And finally, thank your fire watch if you had one. They just spent an hour staring at your work like it was the season finale of a safety drama. Emergency response. If a fire breaks out, this is not the time for a group meeting. Act immediately. Step 1, sound the alarm. Let everyone know it's not a drill because drills don't come with real flames. Step 2, grab that extinguisher and fight the fire only if you're trained and it's safe to do so. Know your exits. Running in circles is not an effective evacuation plan. If someone gets burned, cool the burn with water, not ice, and definitely do not just walk it off. Report the incident immediately. Paperwork isn't fun, but neither is explaining why nobody knew about the fire at all. All right, time to wrap it up. Let's recap before we run off to the work floor. So first off, hot work in production areas, exempt from permits, but still follow safety basics. Move hot work to designated areas whenever possible. They exist for a reason. 3, outside those areas, permit program applies, no shortcuts. 4, program manager equals the safety quarterback. They make sure all permit requirements are met. 5, assess the area, get authorization, then light it up safely. 6, fire watch sticks around for 1 hour post-work, then monitoring for 3 hours. Sparks love surprises. 7, train everyone, program managers, fire watchers, and authorized employees. Knowledge beats chaos. Safety isn't about slowing you down. It's about making sure you go home with all your eyebrows intact. In summary, learn how to keep sparks under control and prevent fires during welding, cutting, and grinding. We've covered hazards, permits, prep steps, PPE, fire watch duties, and what to do if things heat up unexpectedly. So you finish the job safely and keep your eyebrows. Thank you for your attention and commitment to workplace safety. By understanding and following hot work safety training, you help protect yourself and your coworkers every day. Stay safe and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.